Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim here. It's been some time, I'll admit, and I'm sorry about that. I was traveling, got a bit sick, but honestly, I really did not miss much. We've been in this range for over a month now, and if you look at this bigger range, I mean, it's been 5, 6 months of just, sideways up and sideways down. So, really crazy, boring range lately. Obviously, it was exciting up here and at these tops, but lately, um, I'm sure you guys haven't really been trading much or doing anything really with your crypto holdings. Maybe you're buying the dip, um, but a lot of alts are getting crushed. So I just wanted to make a general market update on the macro. I'll be looking at Bitcoin, I'll be looking at NASDAQ, and potentially some altcoins. But we've been in this choppy downtrend since literally January 20th when the new president got inaugurated. So it's really interesting how those things always have crazy timing. But looking back at it now, I'm sure we can all agree when Donald Trump launched his meme coin, that was the signal to sell everything. um, but yeah, in hindsight, it's obviously easier, but use that as a note going forward. Whenever crazy things like that happen, definitely take some profits. But, the chart is not looking terrible. I think it's okay. Um, I've already marked out where I think we could be headed. And after we reach these zones, I think we will get some nice upside. Um, so for now, we're trading below the monthly open. We had this crazy candle yesterday when the tariffs were announced. And what's interesting about the tariffs is there's a lot of fear surrounding them. And whenever there's big fear, it's usually a good sign to start buying. Um, just like whenever there's insane euphoria, like we had up here, that's a good time to start selling. Everybody thought Trump would pump their bags forever, but um, you always got to go against the herd. So now we're down here. People are really scared. It's a good time to start DCAing back in on Bitcoin. But if I had to guess, I do think this correction is not fully complete. Although I do like this liquidity sweep down here, this move up doesn't look so strong, in my opinion. Um, Personally, I think we need to create one more low, which gets us to this previous all-time high. So was the all-time high back in March, and it was the all-time high for a long time before the election candles. So I do think it makes sense for us to retest that. You can see where we bounced from here. It's not really a support zone at all. It's just nothing over there. Um, so to me, it seems structurally we need one more low to hit that. We also have a deviation fib of this range that we created here and that we've been at for the last month and a half. So I think it would be really nice to hit these deviation fibs and potentially hit the very bottom of those fibs, because what's at the very bottom of those fibs is the golden pocket. And you can see that it's from this entire leg up, from this August bottom to the high. You can see that that golden pocket would be a perfect reversal zone. Lots of support in this area. So that's why I do think this first green zone is a strong probability for a bounce. If it doesn't bounce below that, we have this 786 zone right here. There's a daily right there. And let me do this real quick. You can see that that's also the point of control of this really big range. And there was a ton of volume in this area. So it would make sense to retest the highest point of that volume, which is down here. And that's around 63K. Obviously, 10K lower than the first area of interest. So I'm sure a lot of people would be pretty scared around here. But it definitely is a good spot to purchase some Bitcoin down here. The next thing that I was kind of looking at too is the inverse. What happens if we pump now before we go down? So I want you guys to have a scenario for that as well. So you can take a fib pull down here, and we get our golden pocket from the high, and that's right around this daily level here. The 786 is right around this weekly level and previous monthly open. And then also, if we extend these range fibs a little bit, we have the TR pocket right here. So usually what kind of happens with these corrections is you can see that there's this channel forming, right? So you have this channel like this forming, and usually what happens is we break the channel to the upside first, like this. So then the channel gets broken, and then that signals that this part of the correction is over. Then we have the B wave or X wave of the correction. So A, B, and then one more time, C down. So if we do end up pumping, I would not anticipate a new all-time high quite yet, to be honest. I would still anticipate that whatever pump we do get is corrective and would lead down to that one more low, retesting our bigger support levels. If we pull some volume here, we can see that the highest point of volume is in perfect confluence with our golden pockets here. So if the setup looks good, you can definitely take a short around here. Probably a swing, something like this, and then you ride it down. That's probably the only setup I would look for here, other than, market structure shift, retrace, short this, stop loss here, and then look for downside. So those are the two main strategies, and not strategies, but scenarios that I'm looking for on Bitcoin. Either a retrace to go lower, or we go lower first, and then you look for longs down here. It's just it's a very slow market right now, so don't expect this to happen immediately. This could definitely take some time. Stay patient. If you have strong conviction alts, you can start to DCA. But personally, I've been starting to pretty much only like Bitcoin. But let's look at NASDAQ real quick. So NASDAQ looks pretty interesting here. I shared this chart on Twitter yesterday, so make sure you guys are following on Twitter for the most up-to-date charts. But you can see that originally we had this liquidity sweep right here, which was a sweep of this low, and it was also the point of control, the highest volume point on this upward move, right? And we closed above it. And I was actually pretty optimistic from this point because that was also the previous all-time high. And as you can see, we did get some beautiful candles from it. And then the tariff news kind of was the top right here, and we just nuked down below. So if this daily candle closes below this wick, I do think we'll be going down a bit more. And if that's the case, the next big area of interest for me would be this value area low, which is another huge volume point. You can see it's the second biggest volume point from this move up. And that's right here at 16,700. And further confluences we have for that is this TR pocket from this range right here. Perfect confluence with that. We also have a daily level right there, and some nice little liquidity wick that we could take out as well. Um, I don't think it is the golden pocket, but let me just check. Yeah, so not quite the golden pocket, but we do have the golden pocket right below. So definitely could wick to that area if we get an aggressive candle down. But this entire zone is a high probability zone. Um, you can kind of see too, we have 5 waves down on Nasdaq. So if we do get a market reversal today or soon, I still would anticipate it to be similar to Bitcoin, where we get a corrective move up and then one further push to the downside, and that would be our bottom for this mini recession. And you can see some volume here. Let's check it out if there's any good short zones. So point of control is right there. Pull it back a bit more. This value area high is quite nice. So you can pull a golden pocket down here. Obviously, it just depends where this will bottom at. So if it bottoms today, we get some retracement. The golden pocket would be where this monthly open is for March. So that would be a good short zone in my opinion with this value area high. But we just don't know where this will bottom yet. So I encourage you, if this does bottom soon, do a nice little fib pull and you can see where we'll most likely retrace to. This wick will probably be taken out on that retracement. But yeah, guys, we're in a corrective phase for sure, and it's been pretty much straight down. I mean, look at that. So I don't just expect us to bottom immediately and then make a new all-time high. Usually, something like this needs that secondary ABC correction leg before the bottom. So just be patient. If you trade stocks or invest in stocks, I personally think it's a good idea to just DCA this entire move down, because after these tariffs are figured out, I think technology will do really, really well with all the AI, the new AI things coming out. So don't worry too much. And if you start investing now, it's 20% to the upside just from right now. And if we get lower, that'll be 35% to the upside. These are rookie numbers for us crypto guys, right? But if you're going heavier on stocks for long term, these are definitely great entries. Let's see. I'll look at 2 altcoins. So here's Ethereum, just nasty chart. I remember when this happened, it was crazy. But now we're all the way down here. On ETH, some positive notes, guys, is this huge volume node. We are approaching it. It's right around 1629. So it's like 5-10% lower, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 8% lower. I think this volume node needs to hold, in my opinion. Otherwise, we will rotate all the way down to the value area low, which is right at about $1,000, which would be terrible for ETH holders. And you can see we kind of had this symmetrical triangle forming, and we just broke below it. That's okay. As you can see, we broke above it here and then came back into it. So I do expect something similar. I do think we're going to break even further below it, and potentially we could go as low as breaking all these wicks down here. But ultimately, I would like to see a weekly or monthly close above this point of control once we go below it. And then I would have a little bit more confidence that ETH will rotate back up here at least. So yeah, if you're an ETH holder, man, can't say much to you, but apologize. uh, hopefully things turn around. Let's check Solana. And by the way, guys, I haven't really checked these charts in a few weeks, so I'm just kind of seeing impromptu. So Solana, I mean, double liquidity sweep. First we sweep the previous all-time high, then we sweep this one. Now we're going below this range. Looks like we haven't taken the liquidity yet, so this is definitely going to get taken down here. It's a little worrying because you can see that there's not a lot of volume support until literally all the way down here. Let me take a look at the entire range. Okay. So this is quite nice. This value area high. Looks like we already bounced from it. So if we lose it, it's not a great sign. But we could just wick below it and potentially get some retracement to the upside. You can also see on Solana what I mean, like how I was talking about Bitcoin, is it's just this like pretty much channel to the downside. There hasn't been a substantial retracement yet. And by substantial, I mean at least like 38%, right, to the 382. We need to get some kind of retracement before an additional low, and then we can be bullish. These things typically don't just go down in a straight line and then up in a straight line, right? It takes some time. So I kind of anticipate the next few months to just be really slow. And that's okay, guys. Don't just leave the market during these slow periods. Use it as a time to accumulate and to be involved and to check the charts, to understand what's going on. A lot of people only come when it's bullish, and then they buy when it's bullish, and then they're gone on the drops. And you can see that on Twitter and just the general sentiment of crypto. Nobody's really talking about it anymore. And it's always when nobody talks about it that these are the times you want to be purchasing, buying the dip, because Solana is already like 40%. Oh, wait, 60% dip. So if you believe in Solana's ecosystem, I mean, this is a no-brainer to start purchasing around these prices, right? But you can see on the macro, the volume is also way down here. So I don't want to scare anybody, with $20 to $10 Solana, but just based on the volume, these are the big support levels, right? So we'll see. We'll see how Solana develops. I mean, in all fairness, it did go up like 4,000% almost. So it's just the cycle of it, right? Like if you look back here, same thing, went up 250,000%, and then retraced probably like 90%, 95%, right? So it's rinse and repeat, guys. Don't be surprised if we do go all the way down here. And if we do, and you are bullish on Solana ecosystem, you better be buying. I mean, down here was a great opportunity to buy, but there was the narrative of FTX selling their Solana. So I'm guessing a lot of you didn't buy. I didn't buy. And then it just pumped again. So pay attention to that. We'll check one more altcoin. I know probably a lot of my followers like XRP. So let me get rid of all this junk real quick. So XRP, it's crazy because I was telling my friends to buy this at 25 cents, and then nobody did. Like two or three of them did. But then we got up to $3, and I have random friends texting me that they just bought it. And that was literally the top. So now we're down. You can see we had these two nice liquidity sweeps, which could have had some potential for the upside, and they did get a bit, but now we're below. So just on the daily time frame, because we swept this twice already, it seems like we'll just have to break this low again. Um, Below here, potentially just a little lick sweep here and then up, but we're losing the yearly open. We've just rejected from this midpoint of the range so many times. Um, to me, I just think we'll come down a bit. Um, if you want to look at a little deeper zone, that would be more high probability that if we do get there, I would say from this range, the TR pocket would probably be a good spot. This is about 30% lower, so a little bit scary for you guys if you didn't take any profit. And if you didn't take any profit, ask yourself why. I think it was a no-brainer to take some profit here. And if you didn't, I think you should rethink that a little bit and understand why you didn't take profit. Because you've been holding for all of this. You finally get a 4x, 5x, and maybe even a 10x if you bought at 20 cents. And you definitely need to be taking some chips off the table. But let's see some volume on this upside. If there's anything. So a lot of volume down here right before the pump. Let's go further. It's all going to be down here. Yeah. Hard to say, guys. With this, there's not a lot of volume support on this pump specifically. There's some decent volume at, $1.15, but a lot of people were buying up here, and a lot of the bigger holders were selling, and that's the problem. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot of volume. Like on these pumps, you can see how much higher the volume was just to get the price up here. But up here, we didn't have much buying compared to it, right? So this is what's called a volume divergence. When it's kind of just like a normal divergence where your RSI is higher. Same concept. Up here, so many more buyers than up here. So much more money being traded up here than up here versus this price is higher than this price. So that's not really a good sign. You want to see price goes up, volume goes up, indicating healthy buying, right? So I think this is also probably around the golden pocket. So let's just check it out. Not quite. I'm sure if we fib from lower, if we fib from the low, it is the golden pocket. But lately I've been liking to fib the golden pocket from the start of the most recent impulse like this. So obviously not a good match, not a lot of confluence, but I would still keep an eye on it around here. But it does look increasingly like this wick will be taken out. And XRP has been strong compared to other alts. Most alts have already taken out this low from back in February. So the fact that XRP held pretty strong is a good sign. And if you believe in this project and you like XRP, then, and if you did sell some, I would say, then down here would be a good spot to reaccumulate. But I would say if we just dump right through this, I mean, I wouldn't really be looking at anything until back in this area, like 55 cents. So, but usually the way these TR pockets work is because we're breaking down from the range, I'd say 70 to 80% of the time, we at least go here, retest this range. And if we're bullish, we'll go above it. And if we're bearish, we'll go back down. And so if you do buy in this area, expect a bit of a pump, and then you can decide what you want to do. And if we do reject, then you can sell. Or if you're just doing futures trading, you can hop in a long position like this, something like that. But there's not a lot of confluence. So personally, I would not take this trade just because it's only one piece of confluence. However, if you're just like a person that's in love with XRP, that would be where I would be looking to purchase. Let's see what's going on in the market. So Nasdaq is dumping, just made a fresh low, down 5% for the day. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, guys, I think that we're in this environment where everyone is so over leveraged that the downside moves are fast. So I think it's just going to be fast down, correction, fast down, and then back to bull market. That's kind of what I think. I think these recessions and mini bear markets are a lot faster than they used to be. So, in my opinion, just be dollar cost averaging in. Don't get scared. A lot of people think there's a recession. It's always the opposite of the herd. So just relax, be patient, and just yeah. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment them below. I can answer them in the next video. Follow on Twitter if you're not already. This was a pretty long market update, so I apologize, and thank you if you stayed for the whole video. But yeah, I'll be back soon. I'm gonna be posting more often. The thing is, we're just in this range right now, so there's no need for me to update anything until we break out of it. But for my mini updates, I'll be just posting them on Twitter. So I hope you guys have been well. Hope you guys are okay in the markets, and I'll see you all in the next video.